Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will automate the setup of a Kubernetes cluster using Ansible. We will build a single master node and two worker nodes, all provisioned and configured through automation. By the end of this session, you will have a fully functional Kubernetes cluster without manually logging into each node. As a prerequisite, you would require 3 VMs, one for master and two for worker nodes. I'm currently using Ubuntu 22.04 on all our nodes. Also, you would need a jump host or an Ansible controller. In my case, I have another Ubuntu machine which acts as my Ansible controller. As a first step, we need to install Ansible on the controller node. As a prerequisite, you would need Python 3 running on your controller node. You can check it by running Python 3 -- version. Most of the latest operating systems comes with Python 3 pre-installed. Let's install Ansible by running apt update and apt install ansible-y. Ansible is installed successfully. Let us verify the version by running ansible -- version. Currently, Ansible version 2.10.8 is installed on the machine. In order for our Ansible controller node to communicate with the other three nodes, we need to configure SSH access between our Ansible controller machine and the other three nodes. Let's do that by generating an SSH key first by running ssh-keygen command. This generates an SSH key in .ssh directory. Let's copy this by running ssh-copy id command -i, then the path, which is ssh / then the key. We're going to mention the username of our master and the worker nodes, which is root in my case, and the IP address 192.168.122.101 is my master node IP. Next, let me do the same for my worker 1 and worker 2. Once done, we should be able to log in to our master or worker nodes without needing of a password or an SSH key. Let's do that by simply running ssh root at the IP 2.168.122.101. So I'm in master 1. I can repeat the same process for worker 1 and worker 2. We are able to log in without any issue. It's time to bootstrap our Kubernetes cluster using Ansible. As an initial step, we need to clone the Ansible role. I have created a role called KTS cluster with Ansible, which is on GitHub. Let's clone this to our controller node by using git clone command. It is done. We need to create a sample inventory, which is in the README. Let's copy this and modify according to our master and worker node IPs. Let me create an inventory file. And I'm going to update my host IP for my master node and for my worker nodes. Also, I am running the user Ansible user as root, which is not recommended. I would recommend creating a different non-root user and run your Ansible playbook. Let us create a playbook.yaml. I have a sample file in the README. Let's copy that. Let me create playbook.yml and paste it. Ensure the role name matches to Kubernetes cluster with Ansible. Before we can run the Ansible playbook, let's test the connectivity between our controller and our master and worker nodes by running Ansible -i inventory. Then we're going to say all, use a module called ping. We are able to reach all our nodes. Hence, we should be good to proceed with executing our Ansible task. Before we can do that, let me go to VS Code, and on a high level, let me explain what exactly this role does. It disables swap on all our nodes, which is a requirement. Then it reloads overlay and brnet filter kernel modules. It installs containerd on all our nodes. It creates a default config for the containerd, then makes some changes in the config.yaml as per the requirement. Then it sets the containerd to run even when the host reboots. It also adds the Kubernetes apt keyring. It adds the apt repository, and which helps us to install the version 1.34 on our Kubernetes cluster. Next, it initializes the control plane node. Please take note, I am passing the API server advertise address as my master node IP. Because I have two interfaces, hence I'm targeting the interface which I want my control plane to bootstrap. You can go ahead and change it based on your IP address. Once the control plane is initialized, it creates a .cube directory, then copies the admin config to config file. Then it applies the CNI. In our case, we are using Calico. Once done, the worker nodes will join the cluster. Let's go back to our control node and run the playbook. Ansible -playbook and pass the inventory, then the playbook name. Let's hit enter. Now this is installing containerd on all our nodes. It has disabled the swap, then it has loaded the overlay and brnet filter kernel modules, and installing the containerd package. It created a directory to store containerd config. Then it has generated the default containerd config as we saw in our task list. It is now adding the Kubernetes apt repository, then updating the package index so that it can install the required tools like kubelet, kubeadm, and kubectl. It is initializing the control plane node, and we have a job which checks the status every 15 seconds and it retries for 100 times, just to ensure that we have enough time for our control plane to bootstrap. It has completed the initialization stage and copied the admin.conf to our kubeconfig on the control plane node. It also installed our pod network, Calico in our case. Then it has joined our worker nodes into the cluster. And finally, it has enabled containerd to run on boot. Let's go back to our master node, and we don't have any failures. As we can see, we have all the tasks are successful and we should be good. Let's go back to our control plane node, kubectl get nodes, and we have a single master and two worker nodes. One of the worker node is still not ready because it will take maybe a couple of minutes for it to come up. Yes, as we can see, we have all our nodes are up and running now. Let us go ahead and create a simple Nginx pod and see if everything is working as expected. I would run kubectl run. I will call it web app. Then we're going to use image Nginx. Let's run kubectl get pods. Container creating. Let's keep a watch. It's running, which means our Kubernetes cluster is functioning as expected. This setup is very useful, especially for learning, demonstration, and small scale environment. We have successfully created a Kubernetes cluster using Ansible. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Kubernetes and DevOps tutorials. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.